Hi everyone, my name is Wagner Lessa, and right now I'm going to be presenting a little bit about my self-reflection on management psychology. Thank you for taking the time to be here. The first thing I would like to mention is on how to apply some of the things that I have learned in class into the real world. And for the first one, is going to be briefly talking about Sinoli, and it's pretty much how you can be more likable, how you can create a great first impression, and some indicators that we're going to go over with the meaning of each of the letters of Sinoli, Sinol, and I. And you're going to understand later on why each letter is so important for making someone like you more, you being likable, increasing your likelihood of success in life, in business, and also for the others among you. There are some really good indicators on how to make a good first impression. How is it important to smile, to welcome someone into a conversation, and to make the conversation all about them? Then we also have Ikigai that goes over, at first for me, was on how knowing my why and finding meaning in life, figuring out what I love as well as what I'm good at and what I can be paid for, along with what the world needs. Having this idea of a whole, being a whole person and having all put together as a wheel that can rotate well and having well-being with the things that I do for life would find a meaning on my life. So knowing the why and the things that I like, the things that I can be paid for, what the world needs, and find all the points that go along and connect can help me to be more successful in life and also to help others along the way. Then we have psychological safety. That for me was really important in class to learn about that and to provide in the real world because psychological safety is important not only for myself in order to express my thoughts, ideas, and criticism wherever I work or in what kind of business or idea I have, but also for the ones among us. If it's important for me, it's important for me to provide for someone else as well. If I'm in a board meeting, for example, and we have psychological safety, all the members of the board are for sure going to speak out their minds and they're going to give their insights, ideas, points of views, perspectives. And that's how we can have a wholesome idea and come up with better ideas to projects, goals, and go on for all the things that we need. Now, going a little bit more in deep in Sinoli, which was my main highlight and insight from the class, it's important to pay attention on the meaning of every word. And to start off, S stands for smile. So it's important to come up with a big smile and be welcoming, but also not only smile with your mouth. It's important to show and to show that you're genuine about. And we can see that when you have kind of the cheeky mix, when you smile like this and you're genuine about, you can see that this part of your eyes, they wrinkle a little bit. So those small wrinkles, when you're truly genuinely smiling, show that you care and also your interest on what the person is probably talking about. Then to create a great impression and show interest with someone, we have interest. It's important to show interest on what the other person is talking about, as well as to make everything about them. The more you talk about them and the more you ask about themselves, the more the person is probably going to like you. And being likable is a very important skill for your success. Then we have the name. Our name is one of the first words that we hear once we're born, as well as one of the words that we hear the most in our whole life. So, for example, if I'm talking to João, it's very important for me to mention his name whenever I can, because hearing João from me is going to cause a good impression on him and it's going to be important for him to like me as well, especially in a first impression, in a first conversation. Then we have open. It's important to show an open body language, to show that I'm open towards a conversation. Instead of being closed and recluse myself to someone, if I'm open, I'm also open to the conversation. I'm open to get to know their interest. I'm open to criticism. And to develop a conversation, being likable and increase my likelihood of success is important to be open. Then we also have listen. It's important to active listen and as well project your listening into what the person is talking about. Truly pay attention and actively continue the conversation with the topic that you're coming with. Then to finalize Sinoli, we have iterate. As I just said before, continue the topic that you're talking about. If you're talking about a house of condominiums, then ask a question about what kind of house does the person prefer? Does it prefer an apartment or over a house? And just continue on the topic that the person is talking about. Making it all about them is the key on Sinoli, as well as smiling, being open, and showing true, genuine interest about the other person. That's why, as a conclusion, I figured out that the main insights from management psychology to the real world applications of it is to understand the key psychological and behavior theories, as I mentioned before, and how to apply them, how to be more likable, how to have success in life with the small things that you can do on a one-on-one conversation, as well as increase my likelihood of success with all that. It's going to be way more likable for me to be successful in life if I'm able to manage and master all those behavior and psychological theories. Then we have constructively influenced situations. It's way easier for me to influence any situation if I'm liked by the other person rather if I'm not. That's why I leave you guys with this thought, and thank you for your time.